Hello everyone, Josh here. Today let's take a look. It is time to disassemble the Jason G-Shock watch and have a look what's inside of it, how good, how bad it is, and how easy or how hard it is to customize this watch just in case you own one, because, well, as you guys can see from the color, Casio really wants you to customize this watch, and let's see how good or how hard it is. First, just as a bonus, say remove this bezel out, and in my case I'm gonna use a fully white out bezel, and just to show you guys the possibility, just with single swap it totally changed the look. Now afterwards, at the end of the video, I'm gonna change this part over here, this wing, except for the band. We'll talk about it later. For now, the bezel is the easiest thing to do. Then the watch strap. First, let me compliment the strap for the color because it blends really well, especially in this case, orange on orange wing on this side. And unlike the original version, if I'm not mistaken, comes in red, this one orange. Well, no complaint. Darker tone here all the way up to lighter tone, making it visible, this part here, and that it just blends so well. Even though this part has a cutout, it almost feels like it blends into here. So nice. This part, however, is not removable, so it's just fixed like that. Pretty impressive for the manufacturing part from Casio. Anyway, next part is the wing, which is so far quite flexible. And if you're wondering whether you could customize from previous generation Jason reference number G-001, it is not possible. Everything in this watch is totally brand new except for the exterior look of it. Even the size is actually smaller than the previous generation. Quite impressive considering that it has way more to offer in terms of, well, I guess design and material. Function wise is still roughly the same except for Bluetooth functionality. Now here's the wing. Up close it is flexible, but I guess if you find this side here to be made out of harder material, I think it's still gonna work just fine. It didn't hinder with anything. Now the strap is the problem that I have with this whole thing. Well, the main idea, at least for me when I purchased this, is that I want to customize the strap. I mean, it is so colorful and I get it, some people just don't like that, and I totally understand that. And I thought maybe I could take this band out from this Casio G-Shock watch and just plug it in here, problem solved. I mean, I have a lot of G-Shock anyway, but here's the catch. This one over here, including the lug for this case, uses, believe it or not, 14mm lug size, which is crazy. No G-Shock that uses a lug size this small. That is totally unnecessary. Normal G-Shock uses 16mm watch band, so I cannot take any strap out of already existing G-Shock. All of them, I cannot plug it in here at all unless I use a Baby G watch band. Here's an example, a black strap. This is from a vintage model that I pull out of a vintage Baby G, of course. This one uses 14mm lug and the length is shorter and the design just didn't blend. It fits well, but it's not the best look. Unless a silicone watch band out there, say one of these, and then cut out this lug section to 14mm, and then it will fit quite well. Here is an example. I haven't done it yet, but I would assume if all white strap like this, and I plug in an all white bezel, look at that. Totally changed the look. Kind of cool, right? A bit sleeker, a bit simpler now. And you could just color this bezel with reds, you know, adding some blood effect or something like that. We'll talk about the customizations ideas later at the end of the video, where I'm also gonna change the wing and the watch bezel, but I cannot change the band so far. Other thing I need to point out is the screws here. The side screws are actually compatible from previously released Jason G-Shock watch, so that's good because these screws, you cannot just buy the screws out there. Carry on to the next part, metal frame, the main highlight for the watch. Just remove it on that. Once you remove the 4 screws that is locking the wing, this part is movable. If you zoom in closely, you can see, despite already having screws on it, Casio also add a double-sided tip over here, over here, over here, and down here to hold it better, just in case, even if you don't have the screws, this thing will still gonna stick on here. And speaking of which, here is an issue that I have actually. Let's say you get out, you know, get some dirt while you're working, and the dirt gets stuck underneath here. You cannot clean it up unless you really use some brushing, because dirt could easily get underneath there. Here an example in my case, I didn't notice this before, but after I removed this metal frame, Look at that. There's a food residue left down here. So I would assume over time perhaps sweat could get underneath here, but this one is coated, so that's fine. If you use the full stainless steel version, maybe you could cause some rust over time, so keep that in mind. Something could get stuck down here and it will be harder to clean. Then here is the hard case, which is made out of carbon, well, reinforced with resin. And here is the back. Let's remove these 2 screws to take it all out. Unlike on the previous generation, if I'm not mistaken, you're gonna have to remove 4 screws that is locking the metal case back, metal backplate. In this case, 2 screws for this resin part, and then I would assume there's another 4 screws to remove this metal back. Pretty simple so far, just round shape. And here's the back part, which is pretty stiff, not as soft, but still. I have a feeling you could also try to customize this part if you want to change it up, but this part is rarely visible, but if you want to change, you could do that. And then there's the red button, and this is the casing for the whole thing. That yellow faceplate though, I'm not sure how easy or how hard it is to customize, but let's open it up and see what's inside. There we go. AL32, this is the piezoelectric speaker. If you're new, this is where the sounds come from for the beeping noise, the alarm and all that, and the timer. And here is the back cushioning, the dotted or the floating module concept. All the shock will be dispersed to these points here. Nice, just like all the G-Shocks out there. And here is the movement. Most of the part in there is covered by the large battery, so I guess you're gonna need that since it has Bluetooth function and non-solar rechargeable features, so bigger battery is the way to go. That's the spring, piezoelectric speaker spring up there. The movement overall it looks pretty simple, straightforward, nothing much going on here. It is fairly large without any obstruction whatsoever. All the thing that blocks your view is the faceplate at the front. Let's see if you could just remove it out, just like from the previously released model. Let's see now. Alright, turns out we don't have to remove the glass. Here is a module holder or side cushioning for this movement, and then here is the faceplate for this model, which is also quite easily removable. And I noticed the eye is different. Look at that. From the front, it's just circular shape. From the back, a bit of square blocky going on over there. Unlike previous generation, it was just a circle shape. Let's try to take it out. Alright, it has some double-sided tape going on there. Notice that white thingy there. So that holds it in place. But I guess even if you didn't have the tape, the thing not gonna go anywhere. I mean, it got literally pressed with this movement or the module down there. Let's remove the tape out of the way. Take it out, didn't need that. And here is how the faceplate looks like. So I guess if you want to customize your watch, you could change this part only or this part only to different colorway to match with the exterior component for the watch, and totally up to you on that part. Now here is the movement. Let's press the light button. Oh my, look at that. Look at the touchscreen feature. Go up, there we go. LED backlighting glowing from that 9 o'clock position. Everything still works as usual, and the movement as it is. Let's see now, have a quick measurement. About 5mm only. My goodness, everything else is just for the padding, just to make the watch look to look G-Shock, I would say, because there's literally nothing else that looks like this out there. One thing I have to say, I didn't have any other movement that looked like this because I didn't have any of those square G-Shock watch with Bluetooth function, and I would assume if I picked up one, especially the DWB5600, I have a feeling it will look exactly the same as this guy. So I guess in this part, if you want to change to the polarizer to different colorway, I guess you could try to peel this layer out without having to remove an entire movement, so that's good as well. And next part, pop the battery out, and seems to me it uses a 2016 lithium ion battery. And this is all the thing that you could customize with this watch. The casing looks like a UFO shape to me, kind of cool actually. But the thing that you could customize is this part, and the bezel, this metal frame, and the back, and also the wing and the strap, if you could find a replacement part with the same size. So this watch is very customizable, a lot of combination that you could do here with a single watch purchase. So if you're planning on doing so, have fun, and here are some of the ideas that I have, and with all the parts that I have, especially with all the combinations, and I'll just add it over here and end the video just like that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.